Good morning, everyone. I am David Talbot, Managing Director and Head of Research here at Red Cloud Securities. We continue our day with Energy Fuels. It's the largest U.S. uranium producer and soon to be the only rare earth element producer in the U.S. as well. So I welcome Mark Chalmers, President and CEO, to the virtual conference. Mark, you have 15 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. Attendees, please feel free to ask your questions clicking the Q&A link below. Thank you. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Dave. And it's my pleasure to talk at the conference today. And I love talking about Energy Fuels because our story is a bit different from others. We've been the leading producer of uranium, and we're currently producing rare earths at the White Mesa Mill in this first picture here, which is becoming the hub of America's critical minerals. I may be making some forward-looking statements. They're at the back of the presentation. Just a quick overview of Energy Fuels' business case. We're first and foremost a uranium producer. We have a long history of producing uranium over decades, and we produced about 1/3 of the U.S. Newly mined uranium and processed uranium in the last 15 years. The rare earth space is very exciting for us, and if you make an investment in Energy Fuels, you're getting exposure to uranium, rare earths, and vanadium. We were the largest producer of vanadium in 2019 as well. It's also critical material. We have a long history of recycling. We've got strong financial strength with zero debt, and we have substantial inventories of uranium and vanadium that we produced ourselves. We didn't go out and purchase them. We also released our first sustainability report in 2020, December 2020. It's on our website. It is very impressive. I don't know any other company in this space that can reduce carbon emissions and assist in this whole electrification focus like Energy Fuels with the things that we produce. As I mentioned, the uranium, the rare earths, the vanadium, and our recycling, and we're very, very proud of that. And I'm really excited today again to tell you more about us. Our footprint is significant and large in the United States. It goes from Wyoming all the way down to Texas, South Texas. The two green stars are our ISR, fully licensed, fully paid for, and proven uranium production facilities. And then the blue star is the White Mesa Mill in the Four Corners region. That is where this critical mineral hub is located. It's the last conventional mill in the United States. It's operable. And then we have a number of permitted projects that surround all of these locations. I'm sure many have touched on that nuclear energy provides 20% of the electricity in the United States. And it's getting some really significant support around the world, nuclear power, and it's great to see. It's long overdue. This is a graph, and it highlights what I was saying earlier, that we have produced about 1/3 of the uranium produced in the United States over the last 15 years. It really tells a significant story, in my opinion. Up above the 25 million, that is Cameco's production from their U.S. assets. And they've produced about 50% of the uranium produced in the United States over 15 years. If you look at Energy Fuels, we're the 16.2 million. If you combine them, 85% of the uranium produced in the United States came from two companies. If you add UR Energy, now, granted, they were not producing back in 2006, also have been a substantial producer, as has Uranium One. But four companies have produced 97% of the uranium in the United States in the last 15 years. And I believe those four companies are best positioned to produce more uranium at scale looking to the future. The U.S. government supports uranium mining and nuclear. Very pleased with the steps that the Biden administration has made supporting nuclear energy and critical minerals. There is a U.S. uranium reserve that's been fully appropriated. It's about $75 million. Our company had a significant role there. It will be managed by the Department of Energy. I was on the call the other day, and was told by the Department of Energy, by the new acting secretary of the Nuclear Energy Group, that this new secretary, Secretary Granholm, is very, very supportive of nuclear power. And that is, again, a significant plus in this new administration. There also was the extension in October of the Russian suspension agreement, which limits the amount of uranium products coming in from Russia. It has been in place for 20 years for 20% imports into the United States. That gradually ramps down in this new extension to 15%. So steps in the right direction. That combined with the renewed interest in nuclear power, it looks like a very bright future. This is just where we kind of sit in our peer group. There really is no peer group for Energy Fuels because no one else on that list, that table, has a vanadium plant and can produce vanadium. No one else on that list can do the recycling that we currently do and have done for decades. And no one has rare earths on that list. And that is a significant upside opportunity for our investors. We also have, next to Cameco, the most significant inventories of uranium that we produced ourselves, as I said earlier, of both uranium and vanadium. The rare earths, and again, this is one of the most exciting opportunities I have seen in my 45-year career. And rare earths go perfectly together with uranium. The reason we can produce rare earths is because we have the ability to produce uranium. And so we're moving forward very quickly. As I said, we're currently producing rare earth carbonate at the White Mesa Mill. We're more advanced than any other company in all of North America when it comes to processing rare earths. And we have all the licenses, and the mill can produce rare earth carbonate without restrictions. I'm sure all of you are aware of what rare earths are and the importance that they play in clean energy and advanced technologies, and certainly this revolution when it comes to electric vehicles. And they're predicting a 5-fold increase in the demand for rare earths in the next 10 years. We're already getting inbounds from major car manufacturers, and they're calling us. They're calling us. And that really just is staggering to me when you start getting calls from major car manufacturers. And so we're very excited about this. And we believe that our company and the mill will restore rare earth production at a quicker rate and a lower cost strike than any other company in North America, and probably very competitive with anyone in the world. Why are we focusing on rare earths with the uranium? We're also focusing on monazite, and we're focusing on monazite sands because of their very high grades. They come from the heavy mineral sand operations in the United States and from around the world. Their grades of the rare earths in the monazite sands is north of 50%. It can be as high as 60-some%. It has excellent distributions. It's produced around the world. It's being produced now. And the only reason it hasn't taken a significant role over the last 10 or 20 years is because it contains uranium. And it contains large quantities of uranium equivalent to what we would typically mine in the vicinity of the White Mesa Mill. And it is superior to other feeds of rare earths, including bastnäsite. So that's why we're focusing on monazite, and we think this is a very exciting plan. And it's exactly the plan what CNNC is doing in China and has been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, very successfully, I might add. So there's a picture again of the White Mesa Mill. Many people have said that the White Mesa Mill is the missing link for the rare earth supply chain. And I tell you, it is the missing link. And it has completely licensed, and having a constructed licensed facility is a significant jump forward in terms of our ability to respond. We were able to retrofit the mill into a crack and leach facility for less than $2 million. Less than $2 million. Lynas in Australia is building a crack and leach facility, and they're going to spend around $300 to $400 million just for that facility alone. We have ample processing capacity. Our next goal, our initial production is about 2,500 tons of monazite, but our goal is to go next step to 1,500 tons of monazite. And that is less than 2% of the mill's capacity. And that is less than 1% of the design rate of our 1,000-year tailings disposal system. So a little bit of monazite goes a long ways. The 2,500 tons that we're to produce this year is about 8% of the US rare earth demand currently. If we get up to the 15,000 tons of monazite feed, that is 50% of the US rare earth demand. And we believe that over time, we can produce a 100% of current US demand for rare earths and be a material player in the world of rare earths while producing uranium. It doesn't get a lot better than this. So we've initiated and launched our rare earth business a year ago. Actually, it was about 13 months ago. We're well advanced in 2021. We're receiving monazite mined in the United States from the Chalmers company, and we're purchasing that. We signed another MOU with a group called Hyperion. It's Australian listed, has a project in Tennessee, well known to others, and we're producing the mixed carbonate, and we're getting ready to sell and ship rare earth carbonate to Estonia because there is no separation, the next step, in June. And so we have integrated in less than a year with these three companies, and that has gotten the attention of many. However, our long-term plan, and long-term for us is more like medium-term for most, in 2023, 2024, we plan to have full integration at the White Mesa Mill. And we are going that direction. And I think that's going to blow people away at how quickly we could get to full integration, and economics of scale will increase from that 2,500 tons. We also received an award just a few weeks ago from the Department of Energy, $1.75 million on one of their rare earth initiatives. And so we're still certainly getting on the radar screen very quickly with the US government and other governments around the world. This is just a graphic of what we, the 2021 plan that you can see above. And this is the plan below on where we're moving to full integration. And I can tell you this, we are focused on full integration, and you need full integration to get the economics in the rare earth sector. This is just a quick slide of how we've been getting there. We've aligned with some of the leading experts in the entire world, including Konstantin Karyanopoulos. We're securing monazite sands, Chalmers, Hyperion, and others. We're talking to almost every monazite producer in the entire world currently. We're ramping up with the carbonate. We're moving forward with separations. We've hired Caristers, the world leaders in separation technology and development. They're working on our project, doing scoping study right now. We're moving forward to look at the rare earth element metals and alloys, and we've received the support that I've already mentioned. This is just where we kind of fit in when it comes to market caps. This is sort of a quasi comparison of the rare earth producers. You look at our market cap around 800 million. It is our goal to become a MP or Linus in terms of market cap in the next few years. And you can certainly see the value of monazite over other forms, basanite, when it comes to value. The material from Chalmers we're receiving has a basket value of nearly $18,000 a ton. MacArthur River and Cigar Lake of the rare earth business. So vanadium is also starting to get renewed interest. We have substantial inventories, about $13 million of vanadium in stock, finished goods at the mill. We've got strong financial strength, and we have around $80 million of cash or working capital. We're in a strong position. We value our working capital at those prices in the right-hand corner. So it's actually, we have more cash and working capital than the $80 million. And in closing, no other company gives you exposure to the uranium business, the rare earth business, the vanadium business, the recycling business, and is more advanced and has more of a track record of delivery in the uranium space and more advanced in the rare earth space of anyone that I know in either of those spaces in the United States of America. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. We have a few questions already. You know, the Trump administration's always been supportive of nuclear power and more recently the uranium industry. Does support being provided by the Biden administration sort of bring a different type of credibility to nuclear power as a baseload source? And, you know, how does Biden's clean energy ambitions benefit energy fuels? And I guess particularly around small modular reactors.
Yeah. Look, I'm really pleased with the support we're getting out of the Biden administration. And as I said, Secretary Granholm, Department of Energy, I was told by the Assistant Secretary that she is extremely bullish for nuclear power. So I think just the realization, Dave, is that you have to have nuclear in the equation to receive your carbon emission targets. So yeah, I think that it's fabulous. I think it's fabulous. I don't think I've ever seen this in the 45 years I've been in the uranium business, this kind of support that we're getting, and the focus and the public support we're getting, and the focus on things like small modular reactors.
Okay. And you plan to produce a mixed carbonate this year, as you mentioned. How quickly do you think you can ramp up to 15,000 tons? And is there any limit to what you can produce? You said you're only using about 2% of mill capacity.
Yeah, look, we can ramp up quickly. I mean, really the bottleneck is the separation, because there is no separation in the United States. The Silmet project is a plant in Estonia. It's fairly small. It's about 2,500 or 3,000 tons of REO per year. We're currently producing, this is 2,500 tons. My mill managers told me that with that $2 million of capital, he thinks he can probably do 10,000 tons right now if he had the feed.
Right. Okay. And then how quickly do you think you could move downstream yourself, build a separation plant in the U.S.? Biden even mentioned separation plant, rare earth separation plant in his white paper there, and essentially you'd be selling value-added oxides. Yeah. How quickly do you think that can happen?
Look, we just started the scoping study on the separation. I don't plan to stop it. I plan to just keep the pedal to the metal. And we've got the financial strength to continue right now with everything we need to do to prepare to move to separation. And, I subject to board approval to build a plant. It is my intention to build a separation plant at White Mesa as quickly as we can.
Right. Is White Mesa currently permitted to produce rare earths?
Well, we are for the rare earth carbonate. The thing that we have to go obviously to the state of Utah and talk to them about our plans. The one advantage we have is White Mesa is a solvent extraction facility, long history of producing uranium and vanadium using solvent extraction. So really producing rare earths with solvent extraction is just adding some additional elements to solvent extraction. We'd have to have a different circuit. So, it's really using the same technologies and approaches that we do for uranium and vanadium. So we think that, again, puts us in a very unique position to move forward with separation. So, we still have some more work to do there, but it's not it's not anything new to White Mesa when it comes to, the methodology. And we think we can fast track this for all the right reasons.
Okay. And if you are fast tracking the rare earths, can you continue to produce uranium and vanadium as well?
We can with a few more additions. We are using some common equipment, but when I talk a few additions, I'm talking about to have everything completely independent. We might have to spend $4 or $5 million to do that. We're looking at a strike rate to ramp up and get full integration when it comes to capital. I mean, if you look at, a typical new rare earth facility with mines and crack and leach and separation, you talk $1 billion or $1.5 billion. We're looking at getting everything we need in place for, in the order of $250 million. So our capital strike rate is going to be very reasonable. Our financial models are very robust, and we think we have a winner here that nobody's seen in the rare earth industry outside of China. And I know those are big statements, but as I said, this is the best opportunity I've seen in my whole career, And many of the people that may be on this, listen to this presentation know me. I've seen a lot of very significant opportunities over my career.
Perfect. Okay, well, with that, Mark, we're up on our time. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.